What if the greatest threat to humanity wasn't an alien invasion or a supervolcano, but something as simple as the weather? The paradox of climate change is that it's both complex and straightforward. It's a global phenomenon driven by the sum of our everyday actions, yet its impacts are profound and far-reaching. It's as intricate as the Earth's climate systems, yet as simple as the weather patterns we experience daily. Climate change is the steady rise in global temperatures. And it's not just about warmer winters or more scorching summers. It's about the erratic weather patterns and the devastating changes they bring about. We're talking about hurricanes with the force to level cities, wildfires that consume entire ecosystems, and rising sea levels that threaten to submerge coastal communities. These are not distant, hypothetical threats. They're happening right now, affecting millions of people worldwide. And the most alarming part? These disasters are becoming more frequent and more severe. But why is this happening? Well, the answer lies largely with us, the human race. Our actions, particularly the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, are pumping vast amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat from the sun, causing the Earth's temperature to rise, a phenomenon we know as global warming. And it's not just about burning fossil fuels. Deforestation, industrial processes, and agriculture are all significant contributors to this problem. We're essentially creating a giant heat trap, and we're all living inside it. Remember, climate change is not just an environmental issue, it's a human issue. It affects our health, our economies, and our way of life. It's about the world we'll leave behind for future generations. So what can we do about it? And is it too late to turn things around? Well, that's a complex question, but the answer is a resounding no. It's never too late to make a change, and that's what we're going to explore in this series. Indeed, the weather, as benign as it may seem, holds the power to change our world drastically. Imagine a world where the energy you use doesn't harm the planet, but instead helps to preserve it. In this world, we tap into the boundless power of the sun, harness the might of the wind, and channel the force of flowing water. This is the world of renewable energy, a world where we fuel our lives in harmony with nature, reducing our carbon footprint and slowing the march of climate change. Let's start with the sun, a celestial power plant that's been burning for over 4 billion years. Solar energy is not only abundant, but also incredibly versatile. It can generate electricity, heat water, and even power vehicles. And the best part, it's emission-free. Next up, the wind. Picture vast wind farms, their towering turbines spinning in unison, converting kinetic energy into electricity. Wind power is not just a symbol of a clean energy future, it's a reality that's powering millions of homes right now without releasing a single molecule of carbon dioxide. And let's not forget about hydroelectric power, the energy derived from the force of moving water. From small run-of-the-river installations to massive dams, hydroelectricity is a tried and true renewable resource. It's reliable, it's efficient, and it's clean. But what makes these sources truly remarkable is not just their low emissions. It's the fact that they're renewable. Unlike fossil fuels, which are finite and take millions of years to form, renewable energy sources are constantly replenished. The sun keeps shining, the wind keeps blowing, and rivers keep flowing. And yet, despite their potential, renewable energy sources still account for a relatively small portion of our total energy mix. But the tide is turning. As technology advances and costs fall, renewables are becoming increasingly competitive, and as more and more people recognize the urgency of the climate crisis, the demand for clean, sustainable energy is growing. Renewable energy, harnessing the power of nature, can be our greatest weapon against climate change. By investing in renewables, we're not just powering our homes and our industries, we're also fueling a better, cleaner, more sustainable future. What if the solution to climate change was as simple as planting a tree? Now, that might sound overly simplistic, but bear with me for a moment. Reforestation, the process of planting trees where forests have been depleted, holds tremendous potential in the fight against climate change. You see, trees are nature's carbon sponges. They absorb carbon dioxide, one of the main contributors to global warming, and store it within their roots, trunks, branches, and leaves. This process, known as carbon sequestration, is a powerful tool in mitigating the effects of climate change. Imagine a world where every city street, every suburban backyard, and every rural landscape is dotted with trees. Each of these trees would be working round the clock, soaking up carbon and releasing fresh, clean oxygen back into the atmosphere. But the benefits of reforestation go beyond carbon sequestration. Forests are also vital for biodiversity, providing habitats for countless species. They help regulate the water cycle, preventing floods and droughts. They even have a cooling effect on the surrounding environment, which could help combat the increasingly intense heat waves we're experiencing due to climate change. Now, it's important to note that reforestation is not a silver bullet. It's one piece of a larger puzzle. We need to pair it with other solutions, like reducing our carbon emissions and transitioning to renewable energy. But there's no denying that it's a significant piece of that puzzle. So, how can we make reforestation a reality? It starts with supporting policies and initiatives that protect existing forests and promote new tree planting. It involves educating ourselves and others about the importance of trees. And it requires each of us to take action, whether that's planting a tree in our backyard, participating in a community tree planting event, or donating to a reforestation charity. By simply planting more trees, we can create a greener, healthier future. Let's not underestimate the power of a tree. It's more than just a plant. It's a symbol of life, resilience, and the fight against climate change, a testament to the power of nature and the potential for positive change. So let's get planting. Our planet is counting on us. By simply planting more trees, we can create a greener, healthier future. What if the power to combat climate change was in your hands, or more specifically on your plate? Yes, you heard that right. Your dietary choices can have a significant impact on the environment and the climate. Let's delve deeper into this. The food we consume has a journey behind it, from the farm to our plates. This journey involves various processes that contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. A substantial portion of these emissions come from livestock farming. In fact, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization states that livestock farming accounts for nearly 14.5% of all anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions. That's equivalent to the emissions from all the cars, trucks, airplanes, and ships combined in the world today. Now imagine if we could reduce these emissions. One way to do this is by reducing our meat consumption. A study published in the journal Nature suggests that if people in Western countries ate 50% less meat, it could reduce greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture by more than a quarter. But it's not just about eating less meat, it's also about where our food comes from. Local, sustainable agriculture plays a crucial role in mitigating climate change. When we choose locally grown, seasonal produce, we reduce the need for long-distance transportation and refrigeration, thereby reducing carbon emissions. Furthermore, sustainable farming practices enhance soil health and biodiversity, sequestering carbon and promoting a resilient food system. Importantly, changing our consumption patterns doesn't mean compromising on taste or nutrition. There's a plethora of plant-based alternatives that are not only delicious but also packed with nutrients. Plus, supporting local farmers means fresher, tastier produce. In essence, every meal is an opportunity for us to make a difference. By being conscious of what we eat and where it comes from, we can significantly lower our carbon footprint. Every bite counts in this global fight against climate change. So let's be mindful of our choices and realize that our plates are more than just a source of nourishment. They are a tool for change. Alterations in our consumption patterns can be a game changer in the fight against climate change. So can we really turn the tide on climate change? Absolutely. And the answer lies in the power of collective action. Throughout this video, we've explored numerous strategies that can help us mitigate the impacts of climate change. We've discussed the potential of renewable energy, the promise of reforestation, and the need for a shift in our consumption patterns. Each of these solutions is a piece of the puzzle, but none of them alone can solve the problem. That's where the power of collective action comes into play. Collective action means that we all, individuals, businesses, and governments, need to work together. We need to understand that our actions, as small as they may seem, can collectively have a significant impact on our planet. Take government policies, for example. Governments have the power to set ambitious climate goals, implement regulations, and incentivize sustainable practices. They can drive large-scale change by creating an environment that encourages sustainable behavior. Then there are corporations. Corporations have a responsibility to reduce their carbon footprint, invest in renewable energy, and promote sustainable practices. They have a significant role to play in driving innovation and making sustainable products more accessible and affordable. Lastly, we as individuals have a role to play too. Our daily choices, from what we eat, how we travel, to what we buy, can make a difference. By making conscious decisions, we can reduce our carbon footprint and inspire those around us to do the same. In essence, the battle against climate change is not one that can be won single-handedly. It's a collective effort, a global endeavor that requires the participation of every entity on this planet. It's about realizing that our actions today will determine the future of our planet. It may seem a daunting task, but remember, small actions, when multiplied by millions of people, can transform the world. Together we hold the power to shape a sustainable future, to redefine our relationship with the environment, and to give the Earth a fighting chance.